Hey everyone, we have a solo podcast today. It's just me, no guests today. So today I guess I just want to come on and talk about what I do. Everybody knows that I sell cars, or most people know that I'm in car sales, as well as marketing and kind of a little bit on the website as well. But primarily my role is car sales and has been since August of 2021. So 4 years, just over 4 years in the industry. And I do think being a woman gives you an advantage in sales. Women are naturally more trustworthy, more nurturing, more caring. Again, not saying that my male counterparts aren't all of those things, but it seems to be a little bit easier for somebody to come in and relate to me as a female than it does some of my male counterparts. And I also think that there's a connection thing. Like, you're a single mom, you're coming in, you're on a strict budget, you don't know what you can afford, sit down. I'm a single mom, I'm on a strict budget, I don't know what I can afford. But we can talk about it and we can figure it out. And you know that there's no judgment here, because I just genuinely want you to be able to have something safe to haul your babies around in. That's my goal. Thankfully, I've learned so much in those 4 years that I've been doing this. It's been a really amazing experience, but as most of you know, sales is a little bit high pressure most of the time. You're starting from scratch every single month. So it can be a little nerve-wracking, especially when you know you've got the same bills that are coming every month, but you don't know what you're going to sell. So I guess it's a career option that really scares a lot of people, because people want that consistency. You want to know you're going to be able to pay your bills. And kind of one of the great things about the car industry is have the opportunity to make a lot of money. But then on the flip side, you also have those months where you're not going to make a lot of money. So you really have to be able to balance the books and not overspend on those really great months, and have a little bit stored away to help you get through some of the not so great months. It's a little bit different now, I think, than it probably was pre-COVID. I don't have any experience selling cars pre-COVID. This is my world. This is my life. Like, I hear a lot of my coworkers talk about how different it used to be. Well, I don't know any different. So this is my reality, and this is how I've always sold cars. I know that winter months used to be a lot slower than they are now, especially when we have people ordering cars and we have cars coming in all the time. So somebody who orders their car in June or July may only get it in January, February, or March, those typical slower months for the car season. So it's been really great that you have a pipeline of those vehicles that are always going to be filled. So we're not seeing the months before, like in January, February, March, where people were selling 1, 2, 3, 4 cars just because it's so difficult. And selling cars is challenging. Like, it is a challenging job. You have people who come in who automatically assume the absolute worst about you, that you're trying to take advantage of them, that you're going to screw them over, and that's not the case. But you really have to fight that stigma right off the bat. And I'm very lucky in that my background is in psychology, and having to build those relationships with at-risk teens very, very quickly. So that translated amazingly into the car sales world. I genuinely enjoy people. I genuinely enjoy bonding and chatting with people. So it's really not hard for me to go in and make a relationship very quickly. And I mean, I have lots of customers who, since buying a car from me, have become actual friends. And it's such an amazing experience. I never get tired of it. I never get tired of meeting people, hearing all these stories. And that's one of my favorite parts. You never know anybody's story, and you get to meet all these great people, and you get to hear what brought them to you and what they're looking to do. And it's them watching them. It's an amazing process, but it's all about building relationships. And if you're not able to build those relationships, you're not going to be successful. And you see a lot of it with a certain style of salesperson where there's really nothing genuine behind the charm, and like, it's very easy to spot. And although they might have success in the very short term, once people kind of start to figure out that there's something behind that charm, there's nothing there, people get really tired of it. They want somebody who's genuine. They want somebody who's going to be honest with them. And sometimes being honest with your customers looks very differently. Like, I've had some really hard conversations with customers where it's like, listen, what you want does not work. It doesn't work for your budget. It doesn't work for your lifestyle. You're looking at the wrong vehicle. And people can get very defensive because they're like, oh, you're just trying to upsell me. No, if you're telling me you have 4 teenage children, all 4 of them play hockey, and you have to drive them all around, and you're here looking at a Corolla, that's not going to work for your family. It's not going to work for your needs. And it's the same. I see people come in, maybe they have a dog, or maybe they have no children, maybe whatever, and they're looking at these such expensive high-end SUVs that they can't afford. They can't afford the payment, they can't afford the maintenance, they can't afford tires, and they're asking me to discount that vehicle. Even if I discount it, you can't afford it. There's more to owning a car and having a car than just the payment. Can you afford 20-inch tires? Can you afford 20-inch rims? Can you afford the oil changes? Can you afford all of the extra things you have to do with those bigger SUVs and trucks than you have to do with a small sedan? Like, are we on the right car here? And sometimes people don't like that. They don't like when you're being like, I'm not sure we're on the right path. But generally what I see is they'll go somewhere else and they come back and they're appreciative of the honesty, and they're like, you know what? You told me that the vehicle I'd chosen wasn't going to work for me, and it didn't, and I'm thankful. And I jokingly did a post the other day that was like a little bit tongue-in-cheek, what I could tell you if I wasn't afraid of hurting your feelings as your car salesperson. But I do tell people those things, not quite the way I did it in the post, obviously. But I will be honest with you when you're looking at the wrong car. I will be honest with you when I think that the vehicle you're looking at doesn't fit your needs, it doesn't fit your lifestyle, it doesn't fit your budget. I don't want unhappy customers coming back and being like, you sold me a car that I hate. And you know what? If I sold you a car that you hated, but I've legitimately done everything I can do to try and talk you out of that car, I'm fine with it. At the end of the day, it's your money and you're going to spend her how you want to spend her. But I know that I've done my job. So when you come back and you tell me you hate that car, we can have a conversation and we can go back and be like, remember when you were here and we talked about this, this, and this, let's see what we can do now. But sometimes you're just stuck with it, and you're going to be stuck with it, because if you have taken out a loan for 96 months and you're 3 months in telling me that you don't want this car anymore, there's nothing I can do to get you out of it at face value. Like, you're going to be upside down. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be upside down. And I do take it personally when my customers have had a bad experience with me, because it is very personal to me. My job is very personal to me. What I'm doing, what I'm representing, what I'm selling is myself. And if you have had a negative experience, it really does affect me. Like, we've seen I've seen a few negative surveys. It's like my salesperson, trying to think of one, wasn't answering me quick enough. And no, you're right, I wasn't. I mean, I was out on a sick leave, but I didn't answer you quick enough, and that's on me. And I do take those things to heart. And I think that's one of the benefits of having more female-oriented sales staff, is that we do take stuff like that a little bit more personally. We do really strive to provide good customer service so that people are having a good experience, because a lot of us are people pleasers, especially if we're in this industry, in the sales industry. I find women here, we're very much people pleasers, and we very much have imposter syndrome. So we all think the worst of ourselves. And when somebody gives us feedback that might not be the most positive, it's really hard to not just kind of lay down and be like, oh my God, I'm the worst in the world. I shouldn't be doing this job. I shouldn't be doing anything. And that's something that I know I have to fight with all the time. That's one of the little stories that runs through my head, is the you're not good enough, you don't belong in the space with these seasoned veterans who are outselling you or outperforming you, or it's so hard when you walk in and I mean, you know that they probably could have sold that customer when you couldn't. And it's really difficult to sit in that space and be like, okay, so I wasn't perfect this time. I might have made a few mistakes. How can I learn? How can I grow from this? And just not lay down and die, because that's kind of my go-to, is just like, oh my God, I can't do this. But every day I keep going and I keep pushing through, and I've learned so much and I've grown so much. When I think back to my first few months on the sales floor, I'm amazed that I sold any cars at all. And I think it just, maybe people just felt badly for me because I had no polish. I had no ability to, overcome some of the objections that people would throw at me. And I immediately would go to negotiate the price. And now I really don't negotiate my price, because I've seen what that gets you and the type of clientele that gets you, and that's not the type of clientele that I want to be serving. So I think for me, one thing is always holding on to that price, because I do offer that value. I see a lot of people who may have gone to another dealership and bought a car from them coming back and asking me questions because their salesperson didn't necessarily explain anything. They just sold them the car at a discount. So discounted prices get you discounted service. And unfortunately, I'm at a point in my career where I have so many clients and so much going on that if you are not one of my clients who purchase from me, I don't have time to sit with you and go over a vehicle that somebody else sold you. That's really their job. You purchased from them, you get their services, and you get those services for as long as you own the car and after you own the car, because that's built into the price. And it drives me so insane when I see other dealerships just discounting the car, and then they provide zero follow-up service with their clients, and it falls onto other people to fill that role. And I did it a lot when I was starting in my career, because I was just like, maybe if they see that if I'll work really hard for them and provide them value. And unfortunately, it rarely worked out for me. It just gave me a whole lot of headaches, and I was helping a whole lot of people who really were not providing anything to me. In this business, it's a give and take. I am providing you with a service, and you are providing me with money for my family. It's really not that complicated. If you are not providing me a way to feed my family, I can't provide you a free service. And I know it sounds so cold to say it like that, but it's just the reality. You're not going to go to a bank where you don't have money at and be like, give me money. No, they're not going to give you money. I always am there for my customers. Almost all of my customers have my personal, I can't think of any of my customers that don't have my personal cell phone. They all have my personal cell phone. They all know that they can call and text me. I get calls, I get texts, I get emails all the time from clients with customers, and that's fine. I'm happy to answer your questions. If I can't answer it right in the moment, I might tell you I'll call you back, but I always am available to my clients to help them navigate any questions they have about the car, the maintenance, or the service. I have some clients that I will actually go to their house and get their car, and they never have to come to the dealership. And it has nothing to do with how much money that they've spent. I'm thinking of one particular customer. He does not have a high-end car, but he is a client that I value very much, because he's just one of my favorite customers. So when it comes time to service his vehicle, he's elderly. He doesn't necessarily have the bandwidth to come stay at the dealership. So it's easy for me to run over, grab his car, and take it to the dealership for him, and then take it back at the end of the day. Working in car sales has provided me with endless amounts of opportunities for growth. Really learning and crafting and building my trade and understanding customers, understanding their options, understanding how I can best serve them. All comes from always working on myself, always doing trainings, always, knowing my product, being confident that I can tell you what you need to know about the car. And it's not about knowing everything. I don't know everything about every single model on our lot. Like, there are a few of the higher end cars, I'm thinking like the Supras and stuff, that I don't know a ton about, but I know enough to tell you if it's the right choice for you based on the information that you're giving me. And that's all you need to do. It's not about knowing the most or being the smartest. It's knowing the key information that's going to serve your client best. And the rest of it you can find out. Google is available like 24/7, free of charge. There are so many things that I will look up for my customers if they ask me a question. I'm like, oh, I really don't know. Let me check for you. And there's zero shame in saying that. In the Tundra line alone, we have 23 different models of that truck. It is humanly impossible for me to memorize all of the box length sizes, rims, tires, engine display. Like, it's impossible. And all the different features, you can't do it. So you need to have a basic knowledge of the lineup of the trucks, kind of what each trim level offers, but you can't know everything. And I think a lot of the times, especially as women, we want to know everything because we want to be the person who has all the answers for our customer. But we can stop and say, listen, I don't know, but I can find out for you. So if you don't know, look it up. And then you've learned something new. Like, there's so many times where I've been like, oh, cool, I didn't know that. And then I've learned something new. So when the next customer asks me, it's like, oh no, actually, I know the answer to this because I had somebody else ask me it not that long ago. And that's how you learn and how you grow. And the other thing that I do is I'm always driving the vehicles. I get so stupidly excited when we get a new model, or we get a revamp model or something, even on the vehicles that I'm least excited about. I'm sorry, Prius, I'm sorry, I see your value, but you do nothing for me. But even that, when it was redesigned, I drove one and I was like, oh, okay, I got excited about it and enjoyed it. But like, when a truck comes in, or when the 4Runner come in, I literally saw it coming down Beg Boulevard on the back of the truck and ran out of the showroom with my camera, because that is my favorite vehicle. I'm absolutely in love with it, and I was so excited to see the redesign, like stupid excited to see the redesign and to touch it and feel it for the first time. And then I get to drive one for the first time, and that was even better. But that's how you learn about the stuff, is I'm out there, I'm touching them, I'm looking at them, I'm driving them. What can this do? What does this do? What's this button do? Oh my God, I pushed a button I shouldn't have. And guess what? It's fine. There's nothing in your car. There's no eject seat. Like, you're gonna be fine if you hit a button. Worst thing is, shut the car off, restart it, everything goes back to normal. And that's how I've gotten so knowledgeable about the trucks and the 4Runners and the Tacomas and the Tundras and Sequoias and stuff, just because I've gone out and played with them and touched all the buttons and done all the things and really made myself understand the vehicle and how it's gonna be used every day. Engine displacements, who gives a shit? Like, people who understand that, they come in, they know more than you do, so you let them talk. However, maybe they don't know that there's a fishing rod storage underneath the back seat of a gas Tundra, or they don't know that on the TRD Pro, the window blacking on the windshield is actually Morse code for badass truck. Like, there are just so many fun, cool little things that I know because I've gone out and played around and touched things. And yeah, and to me, that's really the key to selling, is I understand, I see, I touch, I taste, I know what this value is in this vehicle, and I know why I think it should be in everybody's driveway. And there's always value in everything. Even in vehicles that I'm not in love with, I can understand how other people see the value in those vehicles and what it's going to bring to them personally that has nothing to do with me. So a lot of times I have to like step back and be like, hey, this isn't your vehicle purchase. You're not living their lives. You're not doing the things that they need this vehicle to do. So step back, look at it from their perspective, and then I can see why a Yaris would serve somebody so well, that it necessarily would not serve me, but it would serve them, or a Prius or one of our electric vehicles. Like I can understand that. And part of being in sales is stepping back and being like, okay, let me take off my little goggles here for a minute that are from my time and my life, and really focus on somebody else and listen. That's such a huge thing, is we don't listen. I think sometimes we get so convinced we know exactly what people need, and then they'll tell us in their story that that's not what they need at all. I mean, I can't think of how many times people have come in and they've been on, I guess the one that stands out to me a lot is our little Corolla Cross. It's a great little option, but when I see somebody coming in and they need a bigger SUV, maybe even something like that they want to tow a small trailer with, it's not recommended that you tow anything over 1,000 pounds with the Cross. And they're talking to me about, like, you know, wanting to tow a little pop-up tent trailer that maybe the RAV4 Trail could handle a lot better. There's always cats. This is a different cat than you normally see. This one is Willow. Smudge is over there. She's very camera shy today, and she doesn't want to be on air with us, but Willow does, and normally she's the camera shy one. So little bit of switch around in the old universe today. People ask me sometimes, do you get intimidated by a certain type of customer that comes in? Not really. Kind of in the industry, we call them big bad bobs, and I think that describes the personality 100%. But I do well with the big bad bobs because I am also very sarcastic and you know, can be very dry, and I find that people who have that sense of humor, it translates very well. And the nice thing about the big bad bob customer is if you can get them to like you and get them to buy from you, they will be your most loyal advocate. They will tell all of their friends, they will tell all of their families, they will write about you on Facebook, they will like sing your praises to the end of the earth, and they will come buy more vehicles from you. And on the second time you sell the big bad bob, they are not big bad bob. They come in, they understand the value, they understand what you're saying to them, and they know you. They know that you're not going to play around with the pricing, you're not gonna be dishonest. They know that this is the best deal, and the sale is so much easier the second time because you've made a friend, because now they trust and they value you, and they want to know what you think, and they aren't fighting you on the things that they fought you with on the first sale. And it's amazing. Like, I have so many customers who have come in, and I know some of them will probably hear this, but like the guy that stands at the front of the desk and goes, "Who's gonna sell me a car today?" And like everybody vanishes. And back when I first started, I would be the lone little sheep that they would sacrifice and be like, "Go talk to Big Bad Bob." But I've had so much success with them, and I really enjoy that type of customer. The other customer I really enjoy is a customer that comes in with a folder this thick. And that customer knows everything there is to know about that car. And basically, they have sold themselves the car. You are there to sell yourself, to show them that you will give them the most value if they buy the car from you. And you can convert those customers so easily. They are buying, and they are buying right now, and they are not going to go to 15 different dealerships. They're not test driving 30 different cars. They are a customer who is armed and knowledgeable, and all you have to do is not screw it up. That's all you have to do. You just have to show them that you are a good salesperson, that you value them, that you value their time, and that you value all the work that they've put into this transaction. And again, these customers will be your friends for life and will sing your praises. And I think we get so scared of certain types of customers when we're in sales, because some people are a lot, and some people are hard on the head, and some people will waste your time a little bit, and that's just the reality of the game. I know I've had a customer who we have gone back and forth for months, and he wound up buying a car at another dealership over a $1 payment difference. And I wasn't willing to negotiate my value any further. I have offered you a lot. If you choose to not take it from me and take it from somebody else, that's your choice. And then that customer happened to be at the dealership and didn't realize his vehicle had all the features that it did have. And I just kind of was like, no, you don't need an aftermarket remote start. You've got one in this. Like, why would you even be looking at that? And even though he didn't buy from me directly, he has sent me six customers, with the preface that I'm not going to discount, that I'm not going to haggle on the price, that I'm not going to remove any administration fees. When his people come, they know this in advance. But he saw the value, unfortunately, after the sale, in that he was provided with nothing at the other dealership, and for $1 more bi-weekly, he would have had so much more knowledge. He would have saved himself time, he would have saved himself money, he would have saved himself some hassle. And thankfully he sees it now, and when he's ready for his next car, I have absolutely zero doubt in my mind where he's going to purchase from or who he's going to purchase from. But he did send me quite a few people after that. Like, he saw the value. And because I don't want this to sound like a car sales training session, because that's not what it is, but I find that women really do connect well and put the dots together, and people are more relaxed around us. They're more comfortable. They feel like they're getting a better deal. They feel more cared for. They feel more nurtured. Like they walk away with such a good experience. And I'm seeing more and more women come into this sales space, and I've seen it happen in real estate. I've seen it in car sales. Things that have been predominantly male driven for so many years, and now we're starting to see these women come in and step into the leadership roles and step into these spaces, and it's been so beneficial. I know at our dealership we have a few female managers in some higher ranking positions. One of the owners was a female. Like, it's such a great space to see. And when you're in that environment, you really do build friendships. Like, I'm thinking of quite a few of my female coworkers, and like, there is a camaraderie, there is a sense of togetherness, there is that little feeling of like, okay, we've got each other, we can talk it out, we can fix things, we can improve things here, we can make it a better environment, and we all really support each other through that. And you need that. That's so important. And I just find that the women that are working in these industries are bringing that, because we understand it's a little bit difficult. We understand it's a little bit harder to break into those roles and to be selected and to be heard. It's hard to be drowned out in a sea of male voices, and a lot of the times you're speaking out in voices, and these people have been in the industry for 20, 30, 40 years, and you've been here for 4 years, and who are you to say anything? But I know times have changed, and things need to change, and people need to change. And the way we talk to our customers, the way we relate to our customers, our accessibility, like, people get really frustrated when they walk into dealerships now and nobody's available to help them the second they walk through the door. But I have a huge clientele list, and I have people who have made appointments, and some people have waited to make an appointment with me for a couple of weeks for me to have a spot where I can see them and sit down with them. And those people are always my priority, as opposed to somebody who's walking in off the street. It's not that I don't want to help you. Obviously, I'd love to help you if I have the ability, but I don't a lot of the times, because I do have such a big client list and I do have so much going on. And it's the same for all of us, really. Like, all of us are really busy. A lot of our business is driven through online stuff now. I do the online sales, but I know a lot of my coworkers do a lot through Facebook. They do a lot through Marketplace. They do a lot through Instagram. When I started my career, that's where I got my customers, was Facebook, Instagram, and Marketplace. And it was the best tool I had, because by the time the customer comes into your dealership to look at the car, to talk about the car, you've already built a relationship with them. You've already started that process of overcoming their objections and being their friend and showing them how to buy a car properly. Whereas somebody who's walking in off the street, you don't have that opportunity. So it's really great to see more and more people embracing that online and doing things and getting to know their clients and get to know their needs before they ever bring them or step foot into a dealership. It makes a car buying experience so much better for you as a consumer, because your product advisor, they just know, like, it's just so great. I know one question that I ask a lot of the guests that I've had and will have is, what do you think what do you think women should do to get into these different careers? And everybody's had pretty much the same answer of, we just have to do it. Like, you really do just have to step into these roles and be like, okay, I've got this, and figure it out, because these roles they're so great. Like, they've allowed me the opportunity. Like, my daughter has been in soccer all fall. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, she plays soccer, and I've had the opportunity to go to her games because the job I have allows me the freedom that if I need to duck out for an hour or 2 hours, I can do that and come back. And I also can work directly from my phone. So I'm at the soccer game, but I'm also texting clients back. I'm also talking on the phone. Like, it's not perfect, but before I would never have had the opportunity to go to this stuff because my job required me to be physically in the building. Here, especially with the way I operate and my role, I really do have the opportunity to be in the community, but still connected to my clients through my phone. And car sales can be so much fun. Like, we can have so much fun, and some customers are just like a joy to work with, and you like have the best time of your life just sitting, shooting the shit, helping them buy a car. And I mean, the guys we work with, everybody's always up to something. You can joke around, and it's a very playful environment. Well, it's very serious sometimes, and it's not a perfect world. There are definitely some issues, but at least your coworkers can have fun with you, and you can joke, and you can play, and you can work together and build kind of that team spirit that makes the not so great aspects of the job a little more tolerable, knowing that you're in the building for 8 hours a day with people that you enjoy. And that's been a lot of fun. Like, I've met so many great people, so many great coworkers. I've been able to learn so much, and I'm doing something that I never thought I had the ability to do. I would have never thought I could sell a vehicle. When I first started working at the dealership, I was in an administration role, and I remember one of the guys saying to me, like, you could do this, and I'm being like, no, absolutely I cannot. I could never sell anything. And I can, and I did, and I have, and I will. And it's just, this has blown off so many limitations that I've put on myself over the years, and so many things that I have said I can't do when I absolutely can. And it's just been such a great experience, and I've learned so much, and I learned so much every single day, that the not so great aspects of my job, it's made up for in the learning and the growth and the preparing me. Like, I am so much more prepared now than I was when I started at this job in 2020. Like, when I started, I was so scared. I didn't think that I would ever make any money. I didn't think I would ever, sell a car. And I did. My first month I sold 10 cars. And at the time I was like, oh, I was just lucky. But it's not just luck. It's skill, it's dedication, it's showing up as your authentic self every single day. Like I jokingly posted on my stories the other day, if you follow Grit and Grace on Instagram, about I wonder how many car salesmen are smudging and reading their tarot cards and wearing crystals before their shift. But that's who I am, and people know that's who I am, and people know that I'm a yoga instructor. People know that I've worked with kids in the past, and that's what draws them to me, because I have those little quirks, I have those little idiosyncrasies that people really enjoy, and it's a part of an authentic experience for them. And I always show up as myself. I don't do well wearing a mask because I can't do it. But when I show up authentically as myself, my little weird self that everybody knows, I always do so well. And my clients value it. They enjoy it. They think it's funny. So if you're thinking of going into something like car sales, you just got to do it, babe. Just do it. And maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. This is not for everybody. I would never say that this career is something that everybody should do, but you can't be scared of it. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you find another job. You'll make money somehow. That's just the reality. So you can do it. So I think that's where we'll wrap up for today. I really like having guests on, but I really like doing the solo cast too every once in a while. I do have a pretty interesting job, and I do like to talk about it because it is something that is so unique and it is so fun, and you learn so much doing it, and you gain so many skills while doing it